Welcome back, everybody. This is Swan with BlackBoxStocks. Today we are going to go over a study and something very interesting and proprietary really to BlackBox, and that is a study called the Net Options Delta. And before we get too far into this, we just want to give a huge shout out to Theta Warrior. Many of you know him. He's a wonderful trader on Twitter, also a valued member in BlackBox, and he helped us greatly with this study, so we really appreciate him taking the time to help us through it. And what we're going to do is kind of describe what Net Options Delta is and how we use it on a day-to-day basis. So we're looking at the SPY chart here, and first thing we're going to do is come up to Studies and click on Net Options Delta right here. The BlackBox study Net Options Delta. And it's going to add a bunch of squiggly lines to our chart, right? So what do all these lines mean? There's 6 lines that have been added. Well, to understand what that is, let's first talk about what Net Options Delta is by itself. So Net Options Delta is basically a math formula, okay? It takes the total call delta, which is a positive number, plus the total put delta, which would be a negative number, and we get the total Net Options Delta. As we know, delta is a formula, part of the formula of one of the Greeks. So the way we use it is, you can see here there are 6 different lines. What do these 6 lines mean? Well, if I right click on this and go to edit settings, you're going to see here are the 6 colors and here's what they represent. The white line is our total, okay, with all options purchased today that expire today all the way out to infinity. Blue are just calls, orange is just the puts, and then we repeat it. Total, calls, puts. The exception is right here, 0 DTE. This is only considering these last 3 colors, yellow, green, and red, are only considering the colors that represent 0 days to expiration, only those contracts. Okay, so let's take those off just for now, and we'll just look at these 3. So what we see here are blue line being calls, orange line being puts. The way you read this is when calls are being sold, the blue line is going down. And you can see that, right? Blue line going down, puts are being bought, orange line goes down. So puts are being bought, calls are being sold. That equals a very bearish environment, and you can see what the price of the ticker did this morning. This is SPY, currently down about 1.2% at about $5.38. The total is the combination of these two. Okay, so if you add the blue to the orange, you get the white. See, minus $500,000 minus 2 equals a total of 2.5 million to the negative. So blue line going down means calls being sold. Orange line going down means puts being bought. That is obviously what we see going on. Now, when you start seeing the blue line turn up, that means calls are being purchased. When you see the orange line turning up, that means puts are being sold. So are we seeing a lot of times you'll see the blue line stay flat and the orange line go up. That means they're probably just covering some of those puts that they made. And then sometimes you get a drastic down candle, like we're seeing right now. We had a little bit of a bounce, but now we're pushing low of day, and you can see what's driving the total price today is really the puts being bought, because you see how these 2 lines match almost identical, and puts being are negative 2 million, and we're at negative 2.7 million total. So that's how we use the Net Options Delta. Now, if I go back to the study and I add back in, let's look at just the 0 DTE now. Okay, we'll do the same thing. Again, these are only taken into consideration contracts that expire today. Kind of the same thing. Okay, so remember, yellow is total, green is calls, red is puts. We can see again, red leading the way down. There was some call buying right through here, but there's still put selling. There's still put buying as well, which means we still see this downward pressure on the ticker. There we see the downward arrow or candle line on the call side and the total side. So this is a great way to see if you have continuity between the call side and the put side. Once in a while you get divergences where they go separate directions, right? Calls are going up, which means they're buying calls. but they're also buying puts at the same time. You kind of get that megaphone pattern on these. When that happens, you know there is going to be a move because both can't be right? So this is a great way of utilizing net options delta. There's a lot of interest out there, and we hope that this helps. Remember, everybody, stay green. And this is Swan with BlackBoxStocks. Have a great day.